is one of those ones where...
Go from there. Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another run here at Anime Speedruns Festival. My name is Grestar, and this is going to be the 7 Deadly Sins, Knights of Britannia. We are going to be doing an any % new game here, so this is just going to be, and for the record, timer will start once I press adventure here. Going through the game from start to finish, doing as few missions as possible, as quickly as we can, as is the speedrunning spirit of it. So, am I good to start the run?
Yep, all good.
Okay, so I'll count down. I will press A on go. 3, 2, 1, go. So,
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, so as you might expect, given the title of this game, this follows the anime 7 Deadly Sins. Unfortunately, I cannot speak much to that myself, as I have never seen this particular anime. But if y'all want to talk about it in the chat, if y'all want to fill me in on some of the fun surprises along the way, feel free. But it throws us right into a mission here, and gives us all these little tutorial screens. But what we want to do, if we just mash B a little bit, our magic projectile button, we'll just throw out these little sword slashes. Makes quick work of these enemies as long as it hits. One of the not so fun things about this game is the targeting system, because the way that you target enemies is you kind of don't. The game does it for you, which means that it can target people that are off screen, that are behind obstacles. You don't have too much of a say in the matter. The best you can do is be near them and facing them and then hope for the best. So that's typically what we have to work with. But there we go, that was the first mission complete, just showing you a little bit of how to actually play the game. And we ignore most of the stuff, we don't worry about any combos with that one. The enemies are weak enough that the projectile finishes them off in virtually one hit. So you might have seen there on the battle results, we got gossip points. And gossip points are used basically to unlock the next mission. It is unclear to me how much you actually need over the course of the run, because for the most part, we just go from main mission to main mission. But that is the idea behind it. So here we're going to try to teleport behind him. This guy can be really mean for some reason. Even though he's like the first big enemy, he blocks and teleports a lot. And one of the bad things about this game, something you just have to worry about in every fight, is it's very easy to lose control of the fights. There are a lot of ways that the enemy can just kind of teleport around you, get out of your combos, they can block hits. Guard is actually very, very useful in this game, but if you're being juggled, you're kind of just at the mercy of your foe, and if they can extend their combos, you're going to be doing that forever. So a couple quick things on the screen. At the top of the screen, you can see a green bar there for both of us. That is, as you might expect, the health. Beneath that is a purple bar, and that is your magic meter, which you can see when I do Blade Flash, it uses up a bit of that. Also uses up some if I teleport behind the enemy. And then on the left of my character icon, you can see right now it's halfway filled. It's that kind of like Easter green, pale color, you know? And that is for your special meter. And when he dodges around like that. I already used my special, but it unfortunately missed, or he guarded the entire thing. It's one of the fickle things here. We're going to try it again, see if it connects this time. More just to show. There we go, that one connected, and it was enough. The specials can be pretty devastating to the enemy's health, as long as it hits without them guarding. But likewise, just as I have specials, the enemy does as well. We're not going to see that come into play for most of the run, but there are a couple fights that do get a little bit scarier in that regard, so we'll have to cross our fingers. So I mentioned that in this run, we're doing as few missions as possible. We're really only doing main missions. This is one of the few cases we're doing a side mission, because it's sort of the tutorial for how this particular kind of mission goes. So this is the only time that we'll be playing as Elizabeth. And all we're doing here is we're going to go around and pick up a few different little mushrooms or the like. So we'll just run here, pick this up. They're in the same place every time. And so it's really just a matter of routing, but No adjustment of movement speed or anything like that. This is a chill moment. There are a lot of side missions, of submissions in this game, and we're really going to be doing as few as possible, but I just wanted to throw out a bit of a... just to give you an idea. So the current PS4 world record holder for this category has a 1 hour, 3 minute time. Oh, I just saw... how is he keeping his head so still? Yeah, I'm very focused. One-handed controller and everything. Yeah, PS4 world record holder has a 1 hour, 3 minute time. But for doing an all missions run, all quests, I believe it's 9 hours, 23 minutes. So there's a lot that we're not going to be touching. This game has its own, like, equipment system. There's, like, a magic crafting system where you can basically make enchantments that you can equip to your characters to give them different buffs. And we're not going to be using any of that. Because unfortunately, in order to get any of the materials to use, like to create those enchantments, you specifically need to do those side missions. And it's just not worth it to take the time to grind that out. So here's another case. We're doing an extra mission just to show you again, like in the manner of a tutorial, how these work. And we actually had a character selection screen there. For most of the missions, it's a set character that you're going to be playing as, you know, moving between the title character here, between Ban, I don't know how you say it, Hawk, etc. It's the same similar to the very first mission we did. We're just sitting here, gonna be spamming this. Gonna try to time the button presses, so that we don't want him to do like his feral, I'm gonna throw in every direction kind of attack. That doesn't save anyone time. And if we can get it before he fully sheathes his sword, makes it all the faster. There we go. There are times where I trust the camera and the auto lock-on system. And I will be firing at an enemy even if I can't see them. But in the past, I have done that and then found out that I was attacking a boulder for the last 30 seconds. So that's something you typically want to avoid. So generally, I'll try to swing my camera around for missions like that. And I think... okay, yeah, just confirming. We're just gonna go straight here. When it says new, there is a new mission. It does not necessarily mean a new story mission. So that's where I do have to trust my gut that I'm not skipping over anything. There are some times in this story mode where you do have to go back and forth between the same location a few times. But that should just be at the end. This is one of the bigger offenders for me, hitting obstacles instead of enemies as I'm jumping around doing this sword slash. Because it really does aim at whatever it wants to. If an enemy moves closer, it'll just jump to them. Or not even if it's closer. Kind of has a mind of its own in that regard. There are some things we can do to close the gap like that. If you tap X twice, you get to do a dash. Launches you toward your locked-on enemy. Not the same as like a vanish step, sort of, you know, teleport behind them. But it can help clear the distance between you and your foe. But still doesn't mean that there are not going to be obstacles in the way. And beyond that, it actually uses up some of your magic meters, so you do have to balance that out with the attacks that you use. For most characters, you're fine to keep using magic and, you know, switch that up between your regular attack combos, but there is one character in particular that we have to play as later on in the story, where each of his attacks uses magic. Doesn't matter the kind, each attack uses magic. Ideally, if I can, what I want to do, I want to hit them with 3 light attacks, and then hit them with my Blade Flash. And from what I found, so I'm not saying it's the fastest combo period, but the fastest that I've found that I've been able to consistently use. Yeah, 3 light attacks, hit them with Blade Flash, and then ideally I want to run behind them, and then get it going as they're getting back up. try to start attacking after their invincibility frames are up, but before they've gotten the chance to guard or to dodge or anything like that. Attacking from behind limits their capability to dodge, but it doesn't make it 0. The odds are still there. Now that we have our ultimate, we're going to use that. Now, I was going to say, as long as it connects, it'll finish him, but of course he did not let it connect. He's a good gamer like that. So instead, if we can get one more Blade Flash in... Okay, one more with the combo, I should have said. There we go. He was kind of the introduction to the first, here's an actual difficult enemy. One that might cause you trouble with his own magic, with his own special. But now we're done in the forest. Gonna be heading off to the eastern fort. Most of the dialogue boxes that pop up, you can skip with start. One of the unfortunate things is that you cannot spam it. If you spam it, for some reason it makes it so the character actually goes through their entire line of dialogue and then it auto-skips. Like, it makes it so that you can't manually skip it from that point on. Just kind of odd. But here's another character that we're playing as. She is a giant. If anyone has seen the anime, and they want to tell me why or how, feel free, because I've been curious. But she has her own unique movesets. Right now, we don't have anything super special going on with her, and so we really just want to go. We have our stomp if we get close, we have a punch right there, and then we have this if we can get the enemies in a line. But it doesn't happen as often as I would like. Even if you walk specifically to try to line people up, with the way that the game decides on its auto-targeting, it can just throw that out the window. Giant woman, all you know about this anime, not gonna lie. Alright, so we're in the same boat. Cool, cool. But now she's on our side. We'll be seeing her again, but it should... I was gonna say should be a while. No, there's one not too far off. Back on the road we go now that we've cleared the path into this area. Heading to Domali. And coming up, now that we've basically done all of the tutorials at this point, you know? But for whatever reason, we still have to do this mission. It may be because it's the first trial that we've come across. It may be because it has story significance, and even though it says it's a field quest, which should be optional, they just made it so it's not. I frankly don't know. But here we are gonna do it anyway. This is our only time in this story that we're going to be playing as Hawk. He's an interesting character. My favorite thing to do against these little guys is the Super Rose illusion. If you jump first, it makes it a little bit more consistent, a little faster with how he actually attacks his enemies. With these bigger guys with the shields, charging them is a good bet. And if you're fast enough on your triggers, you can do the charge and then immediately go into the Super Rose illusion, which is nice. Because ordinarily, the Super Rose illusion will not finish off the guy with the shield in like a single attack. But if you prep them with that charge first, makes it a lot faster. One of the unfortunate things is that boxes are immune to his magic. So I have to make sure that I'm not hitting that. And this might be the last group of them? Nope, this is the last group of them, okay. I was gonna say, good, we did it faster. And here we go. I'm getting more confirmation on, I believe her name is Diane. She's a giant. She just makes herself small sometimes. Yeah, we'll actually get to see that in one fight in this run as well. Her making herself small. Okay, but now that we've done that trial, we can head back to Dalmali and continue with the story missions themselves. Main Quest 06, The Knight's Plot. Whenever there's a loading screen, if you want to check the bottom left corner, if you have any interest in the story of the anime or just what the game itself is focusing on for a particular mission, feel free to check that out. When they all run toward me, I figured that's the perfect opportunity to do my stomp. And now we're going to get guys spawning just to my left. Oh, he survived with like just a touch of health. So sad. Now right here, line this up. And finish them off if I can. Just hit you with that. There you go. No one likes being impaled by giant spikes. At least in my experience, it's never been pleasant. I guess there's, you know, someone for everything. And now that we've done that mission, we should be able to now head to the prison, which is always a fun field trip if you ask me. And there we will be meeting another character that's going to join our party. His name is Ban, or Ban. Don't know how they pronounce it in the show. It's B-A-N, if anyone is curious. And this is one of those characters that can really, like, wrest the control of the fight out of my hands. I don't enjoy fighting him. He has very long combos. And so I'm going to try to get the upper hand as soon as I can, and then maintain it. So we have the upper hand right now, but can we hold on to it is the question. So far, so good. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Oh no, and then, so another thing about this, scattered around some of the battle maps are little magical crystals, and if you break them, little magical effects will happen. The one that happened there was just, oh, I thought I had my special ready, oh no. The one that happened there was a time stop. We both got caught in it, so it didn't really harm either of us from, like, a health perspective, but it did waste some time. So that wasn't a perfect fight against him by any means, but I've had it go much worse, so I am content with that for the purposes of this marathon. So for the most part, we really don't have to worry about gossip points. If I were doing an all-quest run, which I don't imagine I ever would, because again, like 9.5 hours, I probably would have to worry about it more there. But at the same time, you'd be getting more gossip points along the way. So now that that prison is done, we're heading on into the next area. So we can leave Dalmali behind. Gotta remember, even though it says new quest, that doesn't mean that we necessarily have to do anything there. And this is another one of those quests now, where we're really just going to be jumping around, shooting out our sword projectiles, and hoping that they actually connect with an enemy. That it doesn't hit an obstacle that I'm not seeing, etc., etc. Because there are a lot of these enemies, but thankfully they're squishy. And you don't have to jump when you do this, but if you do, you know, you can move around a little bit as you go. And my hope is that, you know, if there is an enemy like just over the crest of a hill or just behind a boulder, that this way, more likely to hit them. Man, if you could get this guy, that would have been great. So while I said the dash, obstacles do block it. Thankfully, the vanish, which uses more magic, does not. So if I need to, like, really get close to someone without going around like that entire area, as long as I am locked onto them, which really, again, not my control, I can do that to clear the distance. We have another fight first, but we are nearing getting another ally already. We'll see soon. So first, to the inn. And yes, we have our little pig, but I never mentioned it, but this is the bar, but it's also a walking pig, I suppose. We're gonna head to Battle 9. This is basically the same thing that we just did, except slightly shorter. It's not meant as a main objective. This is a side quest, but one of those things we have to do. We could do the other trial instead, but this mission's faster. We just need to unlock the next actual story mission by going out of our way just a little bit. No, there we go. Cool. So we recently just got Ban on our party, and now we're going to be using him for the first time. As I said, he has interesting combos. Every character in this game that you play as, they have their own unique stuff. There aren't like heavy combo strings like in non-arena fighter games. But, you know, if you spam the light attack, it does something different for this character than, you know, this other character, or the heavy attack, or, you know, their magic's all unique. So some are more geared toward, like, kind of a support, or at the very least, a less in-your-face combative approach, and others are not. Ban, in my opinion, is very much an in-your-face battler, as long as you do it this way. So I vanish behind him, I get in a couple hits, and then I use all of my magic on that strike, just to try to get in as much damage as possible. As long as they bounce the way that I want them to, I can just spam it until my magic is gone. And you can see it's still connecting with them every time. His special is also ready, but I'm not going to use it because I should be able to just finish... Uh-oh! His special was also ready. With one sliver left. You can see how powerful that is. For the record, though, Ban's special, it makes him so that his magic attacks do not consume magic for the duration. Though if you don't finish off your enemy before his special runs out, then you're going to be exhausted and just completely open to attacks for a period of time. So aside from King using his special there, that was how we wanted the fight to go. Everything up to that point went really well. You want to be able to, like, teleport behind them, you know, get a combo going, just to make sure that they're not, like, you know, trapped in a... No. Make sure they're not trapped in a guard or anything like that. And then just spam Vanishing Kill. Or, you know what I'm talking about. The magic that I was using. And if you can do that, it's just really good, really fast damage output for Ben. And hopefully now we're going to see that one more time, because while the arena has changed, the fighters have not. So here we go, Ban versus King one more time. Let's see if we can get it going even better. Banishing Kill, not Vanishing. So I just want my magic to replenish, so I'm trying not to use my last attack real quick. There we go. The magic in this game is not a gradual thing. It's kind of an all or nothing situation. So either your magic replenishes or it doesn't. And there he goes. Not ideal, but pretty good. I'll take it. We have 2 more fights to take care of in this crystally area. And playing as 2 different characters, so we get to mix it up a little bit more. One of whom, of course, we've already seen, main character of the game. So here we have Melodias versus Gila, I want to say. And as usual, we want to jump in, get a combo going right away, try to, from the beginning, you know, take control of the fight. Hoping my... Okay, magic replenish just in time. No, but she had done an attack. The unfortunate thing about the Vanish is that it doesn't always teleport you behind the enemy. Sometimes it teleports you above the enemy. So, like, it's just wherever the game thinks is, you know, being, like, flanking, basically. But the issue with that is that it means that you cannot be perfectly consistent with planning how your combos are going to work out. Because, see, okay, I'm glad that connected. Sometimes if you teleport behind someone and then use your special, you were too close to them, and then the attack goes, you know, just in front of them instead. But that worked out. But yeah, depending on where you're teleported, you might not be able to connect with that first blow. And so that can give them the time to just move away, to guard, to use their own, like, counter magic. A lot of possibilities. And since control, in my opinion, is the most important thing in the fights in this game, that can make things difficult. So now we're playing as King. This is a character I mentioned who everything he does, aside from guard, uses, and his special, obviously, uses magic. And so his, you know, magic attacks use magic, but so does this, which is just his heavy attack. From what I've been able to tell, this is the most consistent / fastest way. I think that if you could, like, actually consistently nail his magic attacks every single time, then that would be a faster method. But because I think that that's just unreliable, my favorite way to do anything with King is just... Let me get this going. Is just to keep trying to time those, like, dashes on his spear that I've been doing. Okay, our special did connect, so that's good. We got some good damage out of that. We're going to want to use that whenever possible, just because she has quite a bit of health. To make up for this being a 2v1 fight, I assume. But when Melodias doesn't do a lot, and it's really just King versus Gila, wait for her to get up, but again, try to get her before she can do anything. Yeah. We want all the damage we can get. I've also heard that spamming this sort of thing is fun for game audio. With my setup, I actually have never been able to play this game while hearing it. So you will have to tell me if that is accurate. And I'm going to use this real quick, hope that it connects, because otherwise I would need like 5 more of those heavy attacks to hit. Okay, so while it takes time, obviously, to have that little cutscene leading into the special attack, I think that it was worth it in that instance. And now we're done in this area. With that, King has officially joined our party. And we're good to leave. So we're going to be passing down through that southern fort area. Just get that dialogue and head down to Byron. This will unlock another little quest for us, just behind us. Take care of this real quick, and then go back to Byron to do one fight there. So there will be a lot of cases with this one that I want to be doing this same sort of jump tactic, but if you're close enough to the enemy, then doing a single heavy attack has enough range that it can actually take care of a good chunk of them. So when enemies are too spread out, it's not super worthwhile to do. But in cases like this, it can be nice. Throughout this run, I've also basically never been fully completing any of my combos. I've never been, well, if possible, I've tried not to complete the light attack combo. And with him at least, his heavy attack isn't a combo, it's just a single strike, which sends them flying backwards. So usually I'll try to do most of the light attack combo and then end with that final blow, because the end of the light attack sends them flying anyway. And so if I can do that, but with a little bit more damage, then I will. Ideally, though, we're going to be doing our 3 light attacks and then that blade flash, as long as we have the magic to do it. I just have to juggle between, you know, balancing, do I want to use my magic on blade flash for some more damage, or do I want to make sure that I have a dodge available? Because if I'm caught in an enemy combo and I need to like right myself and then dodge, that also takes magic. And as we know, control in this game, keeping control of these fights, very important. See, that was when I accidentally let it go all the way through the light attack combo. Gotta determine what we care about more from moment to moment. Is it that little bit of extra damage, or is it knowing that we have an escape plan? There we go, another side mission down, but this unlocks the way for us. I suppose a better way to think about it is that only the main quests are required. The side quests are never themselves required, but you may be required to do some extra quests. So not necessarily a particular one in most cases, but just a side quest. But now we're going to head to the Great Visel Rock. Got a little bit of a tournament going on. And soon this is where we're going to see the giant in non-giant form for one brief battle. Hopefully brief. I suppose we'll find out. Whoops. Got too close to that. We're fine. And we'll see how this goes. We're fighting Ban again. And you know how I feel about fighting against him. But it's not as bad in this terrain typically as it was in the prison. Just because the environment there, you know, a lot more obstacles to get in the way. More of those like magic crystals that could just cause random effects. Here, it's just us. I don't have magic yet, so I'm going to end that with a heavy attack. I have magic again, so we're going to be using our Blade Flash more. And every time, you know, just trying to get around to his back to confirm that he's not going to be guarding it. Oh, I ran out of magic just then. Okay, that was taking time. So instead of trying to get that combo going, let's just hit them with this. End the fight. Just to confirm it's over. And we've got one more of these little tournament battles here. Anyone who's familiar with the show Let me know about this. So yes, we're going to be fighting the giant, but as a normal-sized human. Except she's wearing Elizabeth's clothes. Is that literally just because that was the only female outfit that they had available? Because I'll admit, when I first came upon this battle, I was very confused. It's not necessary at this point to be jumping before I connect my attack like that, but it will be much more necessary later on in the game. So it's a little bit more just to maintain that muscle memory of jumping before starting my combo there, so that in the future I don't mess it up as often. I'll point it out when we get to that point in the story. But something changes with his arsenal that changes up his attacks a little bit. In the tournament in Season 1, she wears the tavern outfit, and it causes a scene because reasons. Okay. Good to know, thank you. So now we can leave this particular location. We're going to head to Weisel itself. And we've got a handful of things to do here. So we'll be at Weisel for a little bit now. See if we can get our combo going right away. Good. Unfortunate thing about how high up we were is a center flying, but thankfully she didn't do anything there, so we were able to reconnect really easily. But now she's being more of a nuisance. Oh, and even there, I vanished, and it just put me right in front of her anyway. I just sent her flying, but hopefully this still connects. It did. Okay, perfect. So one more good combo and flash. There we go. First fight of Weisel down. This is another area where we're going to be jumping around between the different playable characters. Not all of them are going to be touched upon, but a good number. So while we just played as Meliodas, now we have Ban once more. And we're going to be trying to do the same thing we did when we were fighting King. So teleport behind, start connecting with this. Oh! And we got countered. That's fine, try it again. No, she is dodging around. And because, you know, every teleport takes magic, which is the same thing we use for these strikes, I want to be try to be a little bit more wary about how I'm using my magic. If we don't use magic, though, to get in nice and close, that, of course, is when the enemy can start getting us into a combo. So always the balance to consider. Oh, a sliver left! Okay, one more punch. Generally with Ban, just because his special doesn't actually deal damage itself, I try not to use it. If there weren't cutscenes, you know, that like led into using the special, then I wouldn't mind, because having infinite magic basically is never bad. But yeah, typically avoid his. Others that are damaging, we typically want to use, unless the enemy is at a point where with like 1 or 2 more combos we could finish them off. Then we want to try to capture them within our special. So here we have King against 2 people all by himself. It's nice when they group up like that, because then I get some double damage in. The nice thing about these team fights, typically speaking, it's nice. There's one case where it concerns me because you have an an AI companion. But the 2 characters share a health pool. So if I deal damage to one of them, you know, they're both hurting. So if I can get them both in a single attack, you know, that's just more bang for my buck. Oh, but you can see now, dashing forward, I'm out of magic, so I kind of just have to float around for a minute. Alright, and I'm back. If I can get them both in this, that would be ideal. So... oh, dang, that would have been really good. But I got caught on something, so I couldn't just step backwards. Oh no, and she vanished just as I used it. I don't think I caught anyone in this then. Oh, I did? No, I did. Okay, perfect. That works then. Yes, catching them both in this special is obviously amazing, but not something you can super control without just spending more time setting it up, and at that point, you know, it might not be worth it. So we're out of magic, float around. Just try not to let them start combos. Now we're good to launch the attack again. Just a couple more of these. 2 more from here. And... oh, she guarded? There we go. That's not really a difficult fight as long as you kind of keep your distance from the two. Again, don't want to give them control. But it is time consuming just because of the limitations of your own attacks. And, you know, their combined health pool of like 51,000 health or something. Now again, if you were to be able to consistently land his magic attacks, because I'm just using his heavy attack over and over again because, you know, it does a good amount of damage, it clears some good distance, that kind of thing. Has some pierce, you know. If you could consistently land his magic attacks, I think that that would be better. I just have not been able to find a way to reliably do so. And so at that point you'd be really hoping for, you know, like the perfect run where the AI just cooperates with you all along the way. And that's just, it doesn't happen. One of those in theory things that I've just never been patient enough to like really put to the test. Waiting here for our magic to come back. We're getting closer on our special. So let's try it here. Just enough to finish him off. I believe we just have one more fight in this area. Playing as Meliodas again. But now, assuming I'm correct, something has changed. If that little tournament scene was all in Season 1, I'm assuming that most of this game is. So, not a whole lot of spoilers, I suppose. But yes, Meliodas now, kind of has some demon-y stuff going on. As you can see, he looks a little bit different. And his combos are all changed. He's also now a magic-type character. I forget what the types are all called, but like King, each of his attacks, whether they're a magic attack or not, takes up part of his magic meter. Oops. And so once again, I'm trying to go up to him and just use the heavy attack. Uh-oh. I think I'm about to get caught in this special. Because it seems to do, like, the same amount of damage that his magic attacks do, but without taking without as much of a wind-up. But here we got to see his special, at least. That was the good thing about being caught in the enemy special, it at least gave me my own. With the damage that was inflicted. And that is the only time that we're going to see Demon Meliodas. This moment is mid-season 1. Okay, yeah, that's not far at all. Honestly, I had expected this game to, like, span farther than that. But it seems then, yeah, I would wager this game is season 1. Okay, yeah, so we're done there. Now leaving Visor, we're going to head down here to Orden. There you are. And then after this fight, we're going to be going on a little bit of a voyage. Green Pig there, he's going to do a lot of waddling for us. We basically have to cross to the other side of the map, to where the next story mission is. So now Meliodas has a new sword because Elizabeth has been captured, and we have to actually try to save her. So, you know, apparently the idea was Meliodas was using a sword that was like broken. It was basically just the hilt, because he was just that good. Where, you know, he'd win every fight if he actually used a full blade. But now we actually want to win every fight, so we're using a full blade again. But that's the thing, so the flash magic attack that I was using has changed because of this new sword. Now we have this God Slayer ability. And when I'm in the air, he keeps time freezing me. When I'm in the air, it works basically the same way the last one did. But if I use it while I'm on the ground, I'll use it here to show you. There's like a little bit of prep time. Like he jumps up and then he slashes. And so typically speaking, just because of the time it takes, we want to be in the air when we use it. Not just because of like, oh, long wind-up speedrun, you know, takes more time. But because, too, if we're taking more time, the enemy has more of an opportunity to reposition. We don't want that. Alright, this fight down. Now for our voyage. The long trek to Mordor. Once, of course, we get back to the point we can actually be moving again. We can pass through all of these places. We've unlocked so many things at this point. New characters to play in like the multiplayer mode. All of this stuff. And we're going to ignore most of those new locations. We don't care about most of those things. We have one goal, and one goal only in mind, and that is to save Elizabeth as fast as we can. But definitely some waddling along the way. There's no way to make this pig go any faster, and there's no like fast travel option or the like. So here we are. Gonna take a left here, head down through the Royal Capital Fort. And here we are. So now we're going to be playing as our newest character. And she has some interesting abilities. We're going to be using like one thing of her combo in particular soon. But for now, against these little guys, ideally what we would do is we just want to finger gun them. But the bad part is that this game doesn't let you target. It targets for you. And so I only want to finger gun the small guys. Like that. But the big guys, not very effective. Instead with these, like, let's run up, attack them like this. You know, try to get multiple in a single blow kind of thing. Certainly possible as long as they line up. Just a matter of whether they're going to be kind enough to do so for us. With the last people being little, finger gun them. There you go. And now we can make our way inside. I've basically just been afraid of saying her name because I don't know if it's Gauther or Gouter or something else entirely. At least Ban I feel a little bit more comfortable guessing. So I figure there are only so many options there. This is one of those places we're going to have to go back and forth between different mission venues. So we're going to be doing this one mission here, and then leaving this place, even though there are other, like, story areas available. I'm seeing what I believe is Gauther in the chat, so I'm gonna go with that. Now we're playing as her again, but this time I have a giant hammer. So we're going to be hoping that we can make good use of it. He actually already has been really guard happy, which I don't love. Here's what we want to do, though. We want to have him step back a little bit for us. Right there, I think, and now use our special. Since we haven't been able to get a lot of damage in so far, this shouldn't kill him. But yeah, a lot of damage on that one. He actually has been incredibly guard happy. I've seen him more hostile before, but usually he just doesn't block all of my attacks like this. One more hit. There we go. Gauther. Gauther then? I actually think she's kind of one of the more interesting characters that you can play as. But you only have 2 opportunities to play as her. And her magic attacks aren't that good. They're just kind of unique. I just find them interesting. And so here we're going to be seeing this again. Gauther against 2 fine armored fellows. And ideally, one of the 2 will attack Gila, and the other one will let me kind of just have my fun with him. He hasn't been too kind yet. Okay, here we go. So if possible, you were seeing it happen at the, you know, like just start to happen there, but then I got interrupted. You can juggle him if you can time it correctly with his, with her heavy attack. And now I'm actually going to use my special. Hopefully they don't have invincibility right now. Okay, no. They didn't, it just was oddly laggy. And right now I have them both in the juggle, which is nice. That's what you want, but it's... Oh, then I lost it. But it's never something to expect. But if you can keep them in the air, it's not that long of a quote-unquote cooldown until you can get your next, like, heavy attack off. And it keeps them from attacking you. So it's my favorite way to do that fight. Use your special when you can to really get that damage in, and I'm very glad that my special hadn't missed like I thought it had. It might have missed one of them and hit the other. It was just weird how the damage came, like, at the end. So we're playing as King once more. So we're going to be doing the same kind of thing. Where we're wanting to just spam this attack. Hope that it keeps connecting. Hope that the enemy doesn't bully us too hard. But when it works, you can see it's just a line of damage. Just hitting him over and over again with that. But now I'm out of magic, so let's just dodge him for a moment here. And we have our special ready. Hopefully this connects. Their name was inspired by German poet and playwright Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Yeah. Cool. Oh look, and I looked back at the stream to see that the special not only connected, but finished them off, so that was good. He can be a bit more of a pain that time with his... Or, not that time. In general, he can be a bit more of a pain with how he can use all of his special attacks. His vines can be long-ranged and annoying. But didn't have to really deal with it there. Okay, so this is the first of 2 fights that I am afraid of dying on. So, everyone cross your fingers for me, please. Normally, it's fine. But it can go very poorly, not just because the enemy AI can pop off, but because this is one of those cases where you have a partner, and so your health pool is shared. So even if they don't pop off on me, if they can pop off on him, then I'll be in trouble. Please don't combo me. Okay. Almost have our special available. Okay, we got it there. He might be too far. I might have triggered it too early. Let's see. No! Yeah, I think I did. That's not good. And then he just used his. I think I'm about to be in pain. Yep. That looks like pain to me. So definitely not good that his worked and mine didn't. It's not over yet. It's just, you know, scary now. And then the second one didn't work either. No! Okay, I think we're going to have to redo this fight. As you might have seen, the explosion went into the building instead of on, you know, my friend here. No, and then he went behind me. Okay, at least my ally's finally using his. Hopefully it will connect. Wow. So none of my specials have connected. And then when my ally finally used his, it didn't connect. Yeah. So I was right to be afraid for this one, but whatever. We'll just retry it. Even though I think I was spamming and hit return to menu. That's fine. It looks like this game covers the whole first season of the anime on Netflix. Okay, cool. So after seeing this game, now that you've all been spoiled of story beats, if you want to check that out, you can. Alright. We're gonna try to be a little bit more patient this time with using our specials. I mean, I don't think patience was the issue in every case, but, you know, I'm not gonna lie and say it wasn't ever. I did get overeager. You know, at one point I was hoping to get both of them in it to catch up. And that greed probably did me in a bit because that's when he teleported behind me instead. And hopefully, if Arthur actually uses his ability again, because usually in this fight, he does not for me, he'll connect two, and we'll all be golden. Yeah, that is fair. No, I've been bullied for sure. Arthur has his special ready, so I'm hoping at some point he'll use it. I wish there were a way to encourage them to do so. And it's odd to me because I would think, oh, well, it'll just use, like, you know, AI logic as far as when to actually trigger it for themselves. But the enemies use it all the time. In this fight, at least. Wow, okay, I am sad. I expected maybe to die once. I did not expect to die twice. Gonna try this again. Maybe this means, though, that all of the bad luck is getting out of the way, and that we won't deal with too much of it during the final boss. Because the final boss is far scarier than this fight. I will note that if you're guarding a special, as we've seen happen against my specials, basically no damage goes through. Guarding is just, it's very powerful. But the issue is that, you know, if you're guarding, you can't attack. And if you're not attacking, well, you're not dealing any damage, and they're not going to die anytime soon. And since they can just teleport behind you and then use their special, like this, we'll see if it works for me. Take your energy, thank you. There's not a lot that you can do, because I don't want to play overly paranoid and be guarding at every opportunity. And if they get me in a combo, which is what I try to do, get people in a combo and then special, then there's definitely nothing I can do about that. Because it doesn't give you time, like, after the animation ends to pull up a guard, and definitely not to, like, break out of a combo and then pull up a guard. Well, they're both, like, perfectly within range. But did that last hit... Okay, no. It connected. Good, good, good. Yeah, this is not my first, like, heavy reset point of the run. But it's where you can definitely see it. Honestly, typically my first reset point of the run is that fight. Oh! That attack made me dodge the special. Thank you for that. Is the prison fight against Ban, just because of how easily you can lose control there. But there we go. 2 attempts later. Thank you, thank you. Finally moving on. So now I'm personally not worried about dying to any other fights until the final boss. And then we'll just have to hope that that goes okay. Because it's a similar thing where there's only so much you can do. I'll talk about it more once we actually get there. But it's a tricky fight. Just a couple more until then. And these ones aren't bad. Not that I'll, like, get it perfect. But basically, we're dealing with this fella. He takes, like, half damage until you get him down like this. And then he's not down like that for too long. So we kind of just have to rinse and repeat. So I want to save my magic to do the banishing kills once he's, you know, not taking that half damage. So just spamming the light attack. It's weird in his case. I feel like it's actually the stronger of the two, and it doesn't take as long to actually, like, pull off. Whereas, you know, most of the time you'd think, oh, well, the heavy attack would surely be the better option. But it's much longer in his case. He uses his nunchucks way more. It's just kind of like a stall tactic, it seems. Right, this is one of the times you leave. Even though there is, like, one more gold mission there, which typically means, like, a required story mission, it's not. So we just have our last 2 battles here. Last 2 fights. Here we're going up against Hendrickson. He's not happy with you because you're trying to stop him from doing evilish things. And he likes doing evilish things. That's his whole gig. And he's already drained me of all of my magic. And I can't see myself in the corner. Okay, we at least got control back for the moment. Two more like that. There we go. Moving on to the final fight. So once more, it will be Hendrickson. But like Meliodas just a little bit earlier, he has some physical changes that we're going to be dealing with. A little bit more demon-y. And with that, his combos, his health, like all that has changed. And he is far more deadly now than he was before. So, let's see how this goes. Here's the big thing, the biggest thing that I'm afraid of with this final boss. He can teleport to you, and then immediately do an area of effect attack that deals about 1/3 of my total HP. So, ideally, we don't want him to do that. So for the most part, I am going to be trying to, like, I know I said he can teleport, and that is absolutely true. But I'm going to be trying to keep my distance, you know? Attack with, like, a jump into Godslayer for the most part, and just whittle him down that way. And then once I have my special, move in for the big attack. Because I mentioned that one attack. It's not his only powerful thing. When I see him launching that ball, I'm going to try to just stand there and guard it. Waiting for my magic to come back. There it is. But if I get close to him, he's much more likely to, like, start a combo on me. Uh-oh. The issue was I was just trying to teleport to him. Okay, I guarded it. Good. It didn't count my teleport, so this should be good. I dodged his special, or blocked it, you know. And we caught him in hours. Okay. He's not quite halfway down after all that. Yeah, whenever he's teleporting to me, I just want to get away from him again. And as before, you know, trying to time it so that he's, like, just getting up as I throw my next slash at him. We want to be able to damage him. Okay. And we always, you know, obviously don't want to be wasting our limited magic. Yeah, okay, there's that attack. There's that attack again, so I got hit twice, and you can see where my health is. See if we can catch him in the special. Okay, we did. Please, oh no! No. So for anyone who was thinking, time, by the way, sorry, time on final hit, time. For anyone who was thinking, wow, he sure is playing this carefully, I think now you can see why. Because it can just, sorry, by the way, I'm not warning you about the time. It can very quickly go very poorly with him. His attacks are just, it has a very wide range. They deal a lot of damage. And if you were not prepared to guard, like if I had not been able to guard his special, I already would have died, you know? It's just the whole thing. But there we have it, the 7 Deadly Sins, Knights of Britannia, which apparently, as people have told me in the chat, which by the way, thank you, covers the first season of the 7 Deadly Sins. So if this intrigued you at all, because I know we skipped all of the story as much as we could, and I certainly couldn't tell you what was going on. You know, feel free to go and check that out. If you want to play this game for yourself, I believe it's exclusively on the PS4 or PS4 Pro. This was definitely not my best run, you know, if the deaths didn't give it away. Even without the deaths, you know, there were a lot of times where I didn't control the fights the way that I wanted. But I'm glad that the final fight went as well as it did, frankly, just because that one is so easy to go sour. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for attending this, you know, session of Anime Speedruns Festival. I hope that you have a great time. I hope you've had a wonderful time so far. And that, I believe, is it for me.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Certainly. And that was a great run, honestly. That game looks pretty cool. I actually haven't seen the run for this game prior to you showing it off here. So thank you so much for being here and showing off this run for everybody. Given some 7 Deadly Sins rep, it's a pretty underran game as far as I know these days. But yeah, dude, awesome run. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the Sword Art Online discussion coming up here pretty soon. So once again...
If you're dealing with 3 people, he has to pay attention to all 3 of them so they don't, like, hit him.